Do I think that a Black Noir game could actually work? Yes. I'm a big fan of a TV show, The Boys, and I'm also a very big fan of video games, as well as a big fan of the soup Black Noir, and I've always thought if The Boys was going to dabble into the video game market, then Black Noir would be the perfect soup for a video game. Recently I saw a video on Twitter of Batman Arkham Knight modded so that it was Black Noir instead of Batman, and it simply left me wanting more of a Black Noir video game. And the combat system which is used in the Batman Arkham games, which has also been used across multiple different games, like Sleeping Dogs, even the Spider-Man games, I think that would suit Black Noir perfectly. It would suit him the most out of any other soup in the Boys universe. You couldn't imagine Homelander, you know, having this flash thingy where he counters and all that. He would just fly up and laser people. Whereas Black Noir, he would use hand-to-hand combat. So it would make sense for Black Noir to have this sort of combat system in a game for him. And let's be honest, it would work for a soup like Queen Maeve, but who really wants a Queen Maeve video game, for fuck's sake? So gameplay-wise, it will more or less be like the Batman games, which I would have no problem with, and I feel like the majority of people wouldn't have a problem with that either. Just don't make it as open world like Arkham City and Arkham Knight. Have it a bit more linear. I don't know if an open world game would really work for someone like Black Noir. I couldn't see that working really myself, but I don't know, each to their own. I just think a more linear, story-suited game for Black Noir would be much more perfect for him. And this is where it gets a bit more tricky. We start talking about a story. Now, I have made up a story for it myself, but I'm no great writer. I don't write scripts. I don't know how to make good and compelling stories. So this might be a bit shit, but I think, you know, just for a little foundation, it's not that bad. So for a story for Black Noir video game, I would have it so that Black Noir gets kicked out of the 7. And this is after Homelander figures out or finds out the news that Soldier Boy wiped the floor with Black Noir in a fight. And he sees this as Black Noir being very weak and not strong enough to be within the 7. And now this leaves Black Noir at an all-time low in his life. He's been a part of the 7 pretty much the majority of his career, and now he's been booted out of the 7 because he's deemed too weak. And because of Soldier Boy wiping the floor with Black Noir, and Black Noir's now out of the 7, Soldier Boy could take his place and start getting the spotlight, to which Black Noir really isn't happy about. And Black Noir's goal now isn't to rejoin the 7 and prove his worth and how strong he actually is. It's to completely wipe out the entire 7. Think of it like God of War 3's story where Kratos, you know, he falls all the way down the whatever it is. It's been a very long time since I played God of War 3. But he falls all the way down and then he has to work all the way back up to fight Zeus. And he has to take out all these other gods in order to get to Zeus. This is the sort of story we are going for with Black Noir. And Black Noir obviously isn't able to talk. So does that mean we're going to have to play the game and we get barely any dialogue and we don't know what's going on inside the mind of Black Noir? No, because we have those cartoon characters who he's actually friends with in the show, and they're going to make an introduction into the game as well, and they'll be in cutscenes, you know, explaining what he might be thinking in certain parts, even maybe give hints at what to do if a player is stuck with Black Noir in any sort of scenario, maybe even give little, you know, quips here and there when he's brutally beat up someone, just little things like that, so he's not just completely silent throughout the entire game. And the final boss of this game would be Homelander. Yes, there's a lot of backstory with Soldier Boy, but I feel like he'll be the one just before Homelander. But Homelander being the final one, just because he is that guy, is the main one in the show, he's going to be the main one in the game. It'll be very interesting. It'll be the hardest to take down. So I feel like it'll be the best as Homelander being the final boss. And obviously Black Noir's got his work his way all the way to the top throughout the entire story, taking out the 7 members one by one and finally getting to take on Homelander by the end. And who knows, you might even bump into the boys who may end up assisting him along on his journey. And then for a bit of character development, maybe as the story progresses, Black Noir is seen more as a real hero instead of just a product of Vought, and towards the end of the game, maybe he's seen as the true saviour of America instead of Homelander. There will definitely be some flaws that you can pick out of that story I've just created, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head, and I'm no great writer, so please go easy on me. Like the majority of games would have a skill tree involved in this game as well. Maybe have it so it does his stealth, it does his gadgets, and then just his combat skills in general, all making it a lot more enjoyable as you progress through the game. And that is the sort of game I would go for if I was trying to create a Black Noir video game. I have always thought about like another possible idea of like a boys video game, but I've always thought if you're going to do a boys video game, it would be quite hard to do. So I would just go with like a classic fighting game, like a Mortal Kombat, Injustice League, Street Fighter, whatever it may be. Some game along those lines, and have all these different soups that we've came across throughout the seasons of the TV show of The Boys. Maybe include some from the comics as well, just add a bit extra to it. I think that would be quite cool. I feel like that would be the safest option as well, if we're talking about just strictly a boys video game. But that's it from me. Let me know in the comments how you would make a Black Noir video game. Would you make a boys video game? Would you use a different soup? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.